for the Center for Lyme Action. You have made a difference, are making a difference, and the fight has just begun, so I want to just thank you because we have so much to do. It's great to see Senator Collins, who has been tenacious on a number of fronts dealing with disease and disability, and this one is just devastating in our country, and really it has grown to so many other parts of the world. Vector-borne diseases are not unique, but we do think we have a disproportionate number, especially of Lyme disease. And as we all know, there's a very serious assertion based on a great deal of evidence that it was part of our weapons program many, many years ago. I've done 2 amendments on the floor of the House that have passed that would require an IG investigation into whether or not this was part of something that we were doing to fight against or to degrade the Soviet Union back during the Cold War. And the evidence is overwhelming. I read the book written by Chris Moody twice, gave it to the IT, and they said, boy, that looks good, but they don't have the bandwidth to do it. Well, I think they need to find it. Plum Island and other areas really need to be investigated, and they need to be investigated now. So I'm going to do another amendment on that.
Yes.
And we're also trying to get a GEO report as well. So, I can't tell you how important it is to have your voice. I've been in Congress since 1980. I got elected with Ronald Reagan. And I'll never forget, in 1992, a woman in my district in Wall Township came up, Pat Smith, we know her, we all work together. Sadly, she recently passed away. But she said, what do you do without Lyme? She put her hand up, and I still did nothing. So we had lunch, and I got into Lyme disease from that meeting. When you talk to members of the House and the Senate and to their staff, know that you have a disproportionate positive impact on them, and it can make all the difference in how they vote, how we vote, and what we advocate for. So I can't tell you how important it is for you and the entire group to just continue that advocacy because it makes all the difference in the world. Later in the 1900s, in 1996, I did an amendment. I looked at this military readiness. I have Fort Dix in my district. Fort Dix is a place where then it was basic training. Now it's a lot of people come in there from the Guard and Reserve. And when they leave and they're back in their home state somewhere and they say, I don't feel good, it could be Lyme and it needs to be ascertained whether or not it is. And I can tell you, I did an amendment that required the DOD, was to the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, to really focus the military on this risk when men enter the bivouac, especially in areas like Fort Dix, with a great deal of area that is endemic for Lyme disease. And again, it's in my district, so I know it well. And so we've been working with the military ever since. We work with Ken Calvert, who's the chairman of the subcommittee for Armed Services, the Appropriations Committee, to put money into Lyme disease research and to continue supporting the efforts by our military to mitigate the stage and help those who might be suffering from it. In 1998, I introduced the Lyme Disease Initiative, and at the core of it was a blue ribbon commission that would finally include Lyme-literate individuals, doctors, patients, a cross-section of people, to push back against the narrative. Senator Collins talked about how when she finally saw the bullseye, well, as we all know, you catch it early, 2 to 4 weeks of doxycycline does work. But it's not the panacea, it's not the cure. It doesn't put into remission if you've had it for years, especially. And that was what our people in public health here told us, including people like Dr. Fauci. I was shocked. He kept saying, 1 month, that's all you need, worst case. And I said, I don't think so, but let's investigate. That bill was stopped in the Energy and Commerce Committee in 1998, 2000, 2002, 2004, until we got to the 21st Century Cures Act in 2016, and we got it added as an amendment for this Blue Ribbon Commission to finally have people who understand what Lyme disease is and who push back against this false narrative. And just parenthetically, I've seen false narratives before. My first amendment here was on Agent Orange, and we lost in 1982. People said there's no connection to dioxin and Agent Orange, And of course, now we know it does cause terrible. I offered a law, it's now law, on the Persian Gulf mystery illness. And there was all kinds of denial, cultural denial on that one as well. So I've learned the hard way, okay, you listen to the experts, they're good, we like them, but you don't necessarily take it as determinants because they may be wrong and profoundly wrong as they were this one. So the bill, we included it in the House version, 21st Century Cures Act. It goes over to the Senate and they stripped it out. They wouldn't accept it. So Kevin McCarthy, who was our then majority leader, his daughter had Lyme. And as the senators talked about, her niece, 23 doctors who got it wrong. He had 19 doctors who got it wrong. And so he was all ears about the need for this, and he made it so clear that if the Senate did not include this amendment to the 21st Century Cures Act, it wouldn't come back to the House. So the Senate made sure it was in there, and that was transformational in terms of what they did. And I'm so grateful for that study because it just launched everything you have been pushing, all of us have been pushing so very, very long. You know, just in 1991, we were spending $20 million on Lyme. Now it's $405 million. Still not enough. I'm glad we have the chairwoman of the Appropriations Committee in such a strategic position to fight against any cuts, but also to look to see if there's any way we can further enhance that funding. I'm really excited about the Lymex and the quest to find a very reliable diagnostic. You know, we all know this came out in that Blue Ribbon Commission. Half of the diagnoses ever made were wrong. So you say, I don't have it, and you still feel sick as can be, and you do have it. And we just have a very shoddy and not very effective diagnostic. So that, Lymex, I think, will help, maybe find an even better. They're in the phase 4. There's 17 working, as you know, to find a diagnostic tool. They're getting prize money if they find that, and I think that's a great way to do that. I had introduced the Lymex Authorization Act of 2021, and of course, just like with our K-Haven bill, because I was the House sponsor of that, when you run it into the buzzsaw, you can't get it passed, because getting things passed in the House and Senate, especially the Senate, is hard, because people put holes on it. We find another vehicle like the NDAA or the appropriations, there's a big mammoth bill, and just attaching on that. The K-Haven bill comes up for reauthorization at the end of 2026, so the Senator and I will be working really hard on that as well. We are making progress. I want you to know that. And you really make the difference. I can't thank you enough, all of you, but you guys you talk to the member of Congress and Senator, realize that you find a few that will do heavy lift, but we need everybody to do some lift. We support them. And I do believe, Dr. Honey's here, Kristen Honey, she's in the back. Maybe she'll be speaking. She has been a leader, a woman that we all have listened to. We've had her for like seminars for other members and staff. I feel like I do something, I'm taking notes left and right. So I want to thank her for her leadership as well on this. It makes a great difference. Thank you. Let's continue on. We're going to see real progress, and God willing, there will be an end to these vector-borne diseases that are currently proliferating and getting worse.